The death of Pope Francis has ushered the Catholic Church into a pivotal moment, prompting reflection on its future direction. Under his leadership, the Church experienced significant reforms, emphasizing inclusivity, transparency, and global outreach. As the College of Cardinals prepares to elect a new pope, the path forward remains uncertain, balancing the legacies of both Pope Francis and his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI. Pope Francis's tenure was marked by efforts to modernize the Church's approach to various issues. He advocated for greater inclusion of women and laity in church governance, addressed sexual abuse scandals with a commitment to accountability, and sought to engage with the global community on matters of social justice and peace. His decision to reimpose restrictions on the Latin Mass and his secretive agreement with China regarding bishop appointments were among the more controversial aspects of his papacy. With 135 cardinals eligible to vote in the upcoming conclave, the Church faces a choice between continuity and change. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican Secretary of State, is seen as a candidate who would maintain Francis's reformist agenda. In contrast, figures like Cardinal Robert Sarah and Cardinal Peter Erdo represent a more traditionalist approach, advocating for a return to stricter doctrines. In a strategic move to diversify the College of Cardinals, Pope Francis appointed 21 new cardinals from various regions, including Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. This expansion aims to ensure that the body responsible for electing the next pope reflects the global nature of the Church. Notably, the appointment of Dominique Joseph Mathieu as the Archbishop of Tehran underscores a commitment to interfaith dialogue and outreach to regions with significant Muslim populations. As the Church stands at this crossroads, the next pope will face the challenge of navigating between the progressive reforms of Pope Francis and the traditionalist perspectives within the Church. The decision made in the conclave will not only shape the future direction of the Catholic Church, but also its role in addressing contemporary global issues. The world watches closely as the Church seeks a leader capable of guiding it through this era of change and uncertainty. Priests, pilgrims, and cardinals dressed in black robes and red sashes mixed in the streets of the Vatican on Thursday as tens of thousands of Catholics paid their respects to Pope Francis and preparations for his funeral accelerated. The Church also released the first image of the Pope's tomb, a simple, undecorated affair in accordance with his will, made with marble from the Liguria region of Italy and marked with the inscription, Franciscus. The conclave to select the next pope has not yet started. The Vatican has not announced when voting will begin, but cardinals on Thursday morning held their third congregation meeting in the Holy See's Apostolic Palace since Francis died on Easter Monday. During the gatherings, the cardinals decide on the logistics of the mourning period, but Vatican experts say they can also set the agenda for the conclave and privately lay out their priorities as they get ready to choose the next pope. More cardinals have arrived in Rome in recent days ahead of Francis' funeral on Saturday. As they trickled out of a door in the Vatican near the Sant'Anna Church on Wednesday, after their second meeting since Francis died, some cardinals outlined topics that they wanted the Church to focus on. The central point is the preaching of the authentic faith as it is, said one conservative cardinal, Mauro Piacenza. Most of the cardinals' decisions that have been publicly disclosed have related to arrangements for Francis' funeral and commemorations, but the churchmen will also need to pick a date for the conclave. Francis named many more cardinals than his two predecessors, including a number from outside Europe. As a consequence, a major function of the pre-conclave meetings will be to allow many of the cardinals to get to know each other. Fewer than half of the 252 cardinals have arrived in Rome, with 113 attending a meeting on Thursday, the Vatican said. The cardinals were set to meet again on Friday morning, with more arriving ahead of Francis' funeral. After the funeral, the meetings can also become a stage for discussion and debates about wider issues facing the Church. During one of the congregation meetings before the 2013 conclave, Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio gave a speech that emphasized the Church's duty to reach those at peripheries. The speech made a significant mark, and Cardinal Bergoglio was elected in the ensuing conclave, becoming Pope Francis. So far, 130 delegations have confirmed their attendance at the funeral, including about 50 heads of state and 10 reigning monarchs, the Vatican noted. Since Wednesday, more than 60,000 people have paid their respect to Francis, whose body was lying in state in St. Peter's Basilica, the Vatican said. The church stayed open until 5:30 a.m. on Thursday and reopened at 7 a.m. as thousands more lined up in St. Peter's Square to file past his coffin. Father Joseph Damon, a priest from Haiti, said that he had seen the Pope just a few days earlier as Francis drove amid the faithful after an Easter Mass. He was among us giving blessings. Father Damon said, "It was really striking to see him in a coffin. Some of the mourners had already come to see the body several times. Others felt an obligation to pay their respects. Pope Francis is watching us from up there," said Bruno Donato, 70. "He knows who goes and who doesn't.